Hello, everyone. My name is Eric K. Thomas, editor-in-chief of The Quintessential Gentleman, and today we have actor Jason Mimms, and we're going to talk to him, catch up with him and see what he has going on and learn a little bit more about him. How are you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm actually feeling real good. I'm down in Atlanta right now. It's not hot Atlanta right now. It's pretty cold, but everything else is good.
Good, good. Yeah, we got a nice little rain. The rain was serious yesterday, last night.
The rain, the cool weather. I mean, this is not reminiscent of what I know of Atlanta right now. It's feeling like Chicago.
Oh,
I'm back home.
don't say Chicago. It ain't that. If it's that cold, I got to go. I got to go.
Yeah, you're right. Because if you're in Chicago, that rain will turn to snow real quick.
Exactly. So you're from Chicago?
I am, man. I'm just a kid from Chicago, man, from the South Side.
Okay, awesome. And do you, how much is your time spent in LA? You kind of go back and forth between LA and Atlanta, or what's like your primary?
Yeah, I'm pretty much going back in between LA and Atlanta, but I'm local in LA right now. I've been out for a while.
Awesome. So let's just dive right into it. I want to know, how did you get your start into acting?
Dope. So that's a funny story that I always tell. It was my aunt and my mom that kind of somehow forced me into acting because they knew I was really shy and I wouldn't have done it on my own. And okay. I was approached by my mom. She told me that I was just supposed to go and do, excuse me. See, the story's already choking me up. No, but I was approached by my mom. She told me that I was going to do some impressions for some kids. That was her way of cleverly masking an acting class. And I was like, okay, cool. Thought about it a couple of days later. I was like, no, I'm good. So my aunt, who was over 6 feet tall, and you know, I was about like 10 years old. So I was probably maybe five even. Okay. And she was like, we outside. So I ended up going. And from that day, I fell in love with it. I never stopped going to that acting class. Even when I tried to stop that day, I was told I was really good at what I was doing and you need to come back. And I fell in love with it, like many people do as far as the business. When you fall into acting, it's kind of like it just grabs you. And from there, from Chicago, I got my first start with my first major production. It was a play. Mm-hmm. And I got paid for it. It was with the same theater company. It was called the Chicago Theater Company, no longer in existence. So I got my start with the Chicago Theater Company. This is the same theater that Robert Townsend kind of came out of, and Irma P. Hall, the grandmother from Soul Food. Yeah. I used to see all of their headshots going down the stairwell before you got into the theaters. So it was one of those things that I was like, my picture's gonna be on this wall too. Right. So started there, did my first professional show, and then went out to Atlanta later on, went to college. I did a little acting before I left Chicago as well, did more acting in Atlanta, jumped in, got my first kind of TV show on Hell Date. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was Hell Date season 2. Yeah. Half scripted, half reality, did that. And then from there, went back to Chicago, did a few more things, got into some commercials and film and TV, and then jetted out to LA. So
no, that's
and
awesome.
From there, you know, it was like, you know, it was the grind. You know, whatever work I thought I did then, I thought I did something, but the grind from there was completely different.
No, I'm sure. Do you still take acting classes now?
When I can afford it, but yes, I do. I'm always, you know, in this business, I feel like you're always in class. So no matter how far you go from the classroom, I feel like if you're a student of the business, you're going to find yourself right back in the front row of someone's class, auditing and participating. So I have done some other classes and I've really enjoyed them, but I started working after that. So I want to go back in and do some more and pick back up and just stay sharp because I'm always a student to this business. So
No, I agree. I would say, sometimes speaking to people and things like that, they feel that, they got it, they mastered it. But, I always hear like experienced actors and people who have longevity, they're still continuously like at it and learning, maybe not classes per se, but just studying or reading or just trying to figure out techniques and things of that nature, just to never stop learning and never stop growing in your craft.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, in this business, I feel like you're afforded the opportunity to watch and learn from other people. We also call it stealing. So, but I mean, if you're really good as far as watching, stealing, you're gonna get a lot of stuff out of this business, and that's how you really grow. And I love to watch. I love to study other people. I was just watching the Variety. The little conversation that they have between the two actors. And it was between John Boyega and Letitia.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. So, and I was like, man, this is just compelling to hear other people's story and process and see where they've come from. And it's just amazing. Yeah. So, yes.
No, I get it. I get it. So right now, being experienced as you are, been in this business for some time, what do you look for in roles? Like how do you actually choose your roles?
You know what? I look for something that forces me to stretch and forces me to grow. It's sort of reminiscent of real life. I look for something that is challenging in a way where it's a great creative challenge, where it's like, this is going to cause me to dig deep. Fortunately and unfortunately, sometimes I do and don't get that opportunity to pick my roles. And I say fortunately because I'm happy to get a role, but unfortunately, sometimes the things that I would really like, I feel like all are actors, and to a certain point, because when you're offer only and they don't have you auditioning anymore, then you can kind of sit down and select and go over what script you really like. But to me, at this point, it's what's for you is for you, and it's going to find you. So I've been lucky to get some really good roles that have come across the table, where I've got to play some characters that I feel sometimes are a little bit more of a stretch in different directions, and just allow me to creatively go in and make something as far as a character that I would like to portray. I'd like to get in some other roles right now. I'm putting it out there. I'd like to even play the bad guy, because I've been, the smooth debonair and the love triangle dude right now, which is cool, but I want to do something that's going to shake everybody up and be like, wow, I didn't see him being the bad guy or anything like that. So, and then I also do comedy too. So
I was going to ask, what is your dream role? Like, what's a dream character for you to play?
You know what? Dream character, dream role. I'm not sure, because I want to do them all. So I think it's just the script and the story to me. And if those make sense as far as it being something really compelling, because I really do enjoy a good story, because that allows the character to thrive in the world that you've created. Yeah. So,
Oh, did I lose you? I think I might have lost you.
These really sweet roles, like I'm like to be in the lawyer, and
I think I missed a good 20 seconds of what you said. You cut out a little bit.
Okay, I don't know what part I left out on, but I'll just say I pay attention to Denzel and the roles that he gets, and he gets some really sweet roles. And I'm looking at him go from like Training Day to the role where he was playing a lawyer with the afro. I forgot what movie that was. And I'm just like, wow, like the ability to go and feel these characters, these shoes of these characters is just, it's great. So I'm looking at some of his stuff, and it challenges me to look at other people and other roles.
Speaking on that, what do you think about the current landscape of opportunity for Black actors? I feel like, we've kind of, and this being in the industry for some time where there weren't a lot of roles, and now we're starting to see more development of Black stories. How do you feel about the current landscape?
Man, it's an incredible opportunity right now for Black content and Black creators right now. And I think that is like, this is a playground for us to create a new Black renaissance. I think if many of us get out of the way of the tropes that have existed before and get into a place where we can just unapologetically tell our stories, I think at this place, we really have a platform to put some really great stuff out. And I want to take advantage of that myself, because I think I have some things to say as well. Coming from Chicago, I have a different lens. I have a Midwest lens, as far as the Black experience. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to Chicago, but Chicago is extremely Black. You could throw a rock and knock out the entire South Side of Black people because we're just that close. And I'd say like those things, the world needs to see and needs to hear. And I think we're at that place where the world is actually asking and begging to see it. And when they get those stories, they're like, man, I didn't know, because there's so many people that have been outside of the United States, and even within the United States, who have only this monolithic a viewpoint exactly of what Blackness is and what Black stories are, and that's changing. We're no longer just the basketball rapper, downtrodden, I'm struggling from rags to riches story. We got a lot of different culture. I mean, we have things that we can offer that I really can't wait to see what the people who are at play right now are able to do, including some of the stories that are already out, like Emancipation. I was just bringing that up the other day, talking with someone else. And I mean, just the idea of how we all know we don't want another Black slave movie. And this is different. And so I haven't seen it yet, and I'm gonna check that out. But that's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing great stuff about it. So those are the things, it starts from that and then it snowballs. So I think we're at a great place.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't been to Chicago yet. Every time I want to go, it hits the winter time, and I said, absolutely not. I will only go during the summertime. That's all I got.
Well, I say go and experience both. But
Okay.
if you're gonna go in the winter, just have about 3 days that you're gonna do, because I mean, I don't think you're gonna be able to survive it. I don't know where you're from, but that cold is gonna slap you, and you're gonna remember it. So but yeah, definitely go in the summer and get some of the food, because
there's a beautiful city.
I'm gonna brag and say we got the best food in the world. I'm just gonna say it.
That's what I heard. Right now, you talk about some of the films or series that are currently that you appreciate, kind of showing Chicago and the storytelling now. What are some of your favorite? I'll give you just not some. Give me one of kind of your favorite series that's kind of based on Chicago right now.
That's kind of based in Chicago.
That's kind of that based in Chicago, where the storyline is in Chicago.
Wow, man. You know what? Let me see. This shouldn't be hard for me to struggle with, but you know what? Because I watch everything. I try to. It's almost impossible to do it because it takes so much time. Yeah. But I haven't really been watching anything episodic lately. Okay. But shout out to a lot of the new shows that are out, because I know there's a few of them that are being shot there, including including all of the Power series, Power book, and all of that stuff. And I think it's another comedy that they have going on too. I forgot.
Right?
Yeah, I wanted to check that one out. I've seen clips about that, and it seems really funny. I want to check that one out. It's almost impossible. You have to have a schedule just to watch all of the stuff. So, I mean, if there's any that you know that I should check out, I'm definitely going to check them out.
Yes. The Shy is definitely great. Southside is great as well. Well, you're talking about content. It's my job to watch these things, and I still don't have no time to do all of them. So trust me, I get it.
It's my job to be in them, and I can't watch them.
Exactly. So let's talk about Cherish today. How did you come across that script? How did you get involved with that project?
Man, again, it goes back to what's for you will find you.
Mm.
And my agent hit me up and said she had an audition. And I looked at it and I was like, Ava Duvernay, on network. Cherish today. I was like, okay. I actually knew the show because I saw the first season and I knew some of the people that were on the first season. And I was like, okay, this is kind of dope. What role do they have me playing? And it was a recurring role for the character Hosea. And I read the script. Well, I read the sides for the audition, and I was like, "Yo, this is meaty. This is pretty good." So I told a friend of mine I got the audition, and she was telling me that it was a party going on, that the writers may be at the party, and you should go check it out. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what's up? You know, so I go to this party. This party is actually the personal assistant to Zendaya.
Okay.
And so I go to this party and the writer's there. There's a bunch of other actors there. There's everybody there. But all I cared about, the writer was there. And I was like, okay, let me see what's up. She was like, she knew it. She was like, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you. And I tell her, you know, I got the audition coming up, and she's looking me up and down, and she was like, I was just writing him in the car. You look exactly like who I'm talking about. You look like Hosea. And I was like, okay, dope. So I'm now like, oh, this is about to happen. I see it. I see it snowballing. So she was like, you know what? Give me your information. Give me your number and your agent and all that. And when you submit your audition, she was like, did you tape it already? When you send it in, you make sure you tell me, because we're going to, you know, pull your audition and all that stuff. So I'm thinking after this, because I do my audition, I send it in, I get good feedback. They're like, we're interested in you. Not the exact words, but something along the line. So I was like, cool. I'm thinking that the whole time, this has got something to do with it. Fast forward, I get the role. And I shoot the first episode. Now, I'm gonna go back a little bit because the year prior to it, it was like the pandemic, and I'm over here struggling. So I'm trying to get things going. Now, I'm no fan I'm put it like this. I'm a big fan of telling the truth as far as where I'm at in my career, because I know the process is enough for other people to be inspired by. So I was doing event planning. I was serving at an event, it was at a wedding in the pandemic. This wedding happened to be Niecy Nash's wedding.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if you remember hearing about that one. That was a smaller wedding in her backyard. Now, the guests that were there, of course, you know, some of her celebrity friends. One of the people was Ava Duvernay.
Wow.
And here I am masked up. I'm over here serving up, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, you know, filet mignon, you know, filet mignon.
Right.
And I'm over there like, man, I'm this close, but I'm that far away because you can't even see me. And the closest that we had as far as conversation was, can you get me some new clean silverware? And I was like, I was happy to do that, but I was like, damn, this is so demeaning, because I'm like, this woman could change my life and don't even know who I am.
Right.
And so fast forward past that, I didn't think nothing of it. Then I get this audition with Ava Duvernay, which is like, whoa, that's crazy. And I shoot the first episode, and I come back to LA. Now, the event planner, this is a year later, the event planner tells me, that they're doing an anniversary party for Niecy and Jessica Betts at the house. And he said, I don't want you to show up right now, because he knew I just booked the role. So I don't want you to show up as the help today. I want you, because I also hustle and I do video editing and I also do camera work and stuff on the side. So I was like, he was like, you shoot, right? I want you to come with your camera and I want you to shoot this. And we're going to see, you know, if you can say hello to Ava in a different capacity. And I was like, all right, dope. So I come back, and this time I don't have my mask on purpose. And she's looking at me, and I walk through the party a couple of times and I'm waiting, I'm letting her talk and mill around. And then she comes to me, I approach her and she's like, hey, I'm sorry, but you look really familiar. Where do I know you from? And I was like, I look familiar because I'm on your new show. I'm cast on your new show. And she was like, that's right. She was like, I recognize you. And she was like, you're not only just in the show, you're in the show. And she was like, you know what? Let me tell you something. You got this role all by yourself. No one else helped you. And I'm like, the whole time in my mind, I'm like, the writers had a whole little thing, you know, they pulled me to the side, they ran me up the ladder, none of that. She was like, you got this all by yourself. I saw your tape and I handpicked you. And I just want to let you know, pretty much that I was looking for the character. We were going through the roles. She was like, I was looking for somebody who would have been attractive. And she was like, and you're him. And then it was like, I'm sorry. She was looking at me and said, you know, you're the guy. And then I looked at, you know, your performance. She was like, well, he can do the role. Yeah. And I just want to let you know that you should get your phone out. You should take a picture right now. And I was like, I can do that. And I took my phone out and we took a picture and I posted it on Instagram and told the story as well in a lot shorter version. But that whole little moment right there was surreal. But I also came back and told her, I said, but let me also tell you, it was a year ago that I was in the same backyard and I was serving you with a mask on. You didn't even know it was me. I got you some silverware and served you meat and potatoes. And I was like, you know, it's just funny because I told my mom last year I was serving you, this year I'm on your set. And she was like, she really smiled at that and thought it was cool. And I was like, man, that's dope. And she even liked that same post because she remembered that I said that. And that she said that. We both had that exchange. And I was like, man, that was such a dope moment for me. And yeah, I got a chance to be on Cherish Day season 2. We shot in New Orleans. It was dope. It was with Joy Bryant and Henry Simmons and Shaft. We had him in there, Richard Roundtree, Terry Vaughn. It was a great cast, great season. I was the guy who was involved with Joy in this love triangle, as I said, and I was bringing all the smoke because I definitely got all y'all hate mail that was going, you know, about that episode, the last episode where Hosea comes back for redemption. That's what that was. But yeah, it was dope, man. It was a dope experience, dope time.
Awesome. So a couple more questions. I know I want to get close to the time. Thank you. What advice, I would ask, would you give to upcoming actors who, you know, are kind of not in your space now, but were in your space kind of that year ago serving perspective where they haven't really gotten it yet? What would you tell them?
Well, you know, it takes a long time, man. And for some, maybe it's not. I don't want to paint the picture and say that it's going to be the same for everybody, because some people you're gonna break out the stables and you're just gonna take off. But for the ones that have not, this is a process, and don't be deterred and don't be discouraged, because it is the journey and not the destination. And for those who do make it there quicker, I would also tell you to be careful, because, you know, it's the relationships, it's the people that you meet along the way that really make this worthwhile. And I know a lot of people might have different opinions on that, but I think we can all agree that literally, it's joy within those moments of triumph where you overcome certain things. It's like the character development, you know, when your character overcomes obstacles and you actually get those moments where the character advances in certain points of the objectives for the role. It's the same for your life. It's difficult on purpose because it's building the character that you need for your life and for you to sustain a career worthwhile. Money comes quick, but these lessons and experiences, they last a lifetime. And if you're willing to go through it, I feel like on the other side of the pain is growth and joy. And so I would say be fearless, be relentless, and be courageous for what you want, because it's obtainable. It's definitely real. The 10-year overnight success story is definitely not a saying, it's real. And I've been doing this for a long time. Like I said, I started when I was 10. I had my first professional show at 14. And, you know, here I am at 36, still going at it. And the rewards are just now starting to happen, even though if I go back, and I have been going back along the way, just tracing all of the little moments of success, they all add up. And in retrospect, when somebody gets a chance to look at it, they're gonna be like, damn, he's been there the whole time. But when it hits, it's gonna be like, where the hell did he come from? But
right.
But it's been along the whole time. And I encourage you all, you know, take the proverbial ass whipping and go at it. You know, it's worth it.
No, for sure. And I want to, you know, speak to you a little bit about kind of mental health, right? You know, unfortunately, we just heard that Twitch died. Ellen DeGeneres, one of, you know, a DJ for Ellen DeGeneres show, and, you know, a Black man who, you know, committed suicide. And I really want to have conversations a little bit more about paying attention to those type of conversations that need to be had, especially for people in the entertainment industry. And I don't think we speak enough about it because we believe you guys have it all. You guys are famous, you're on TV, or all these things, but there's a lot of, you know, mental health is real and does not have a class system or, you know, whatever the type of determinant is that people believe. And I just want to know what your thoughts are on just kind of maintaining your mental health and how you are staying kind of focused and what you need to do.
Yeah, that was such an unfortunate piece of news to receive yesterday. I was actually in the film Stomp the Yard 2 with Twitch some years ago, which is another thing, you know, along the way you can see where I've been. I was a featured extra during that time. I was one of the New Gamma brothers.
Okay.
And I just remember he was such a cool dude, man, and very likable and very well received from everyone. And that just goes to show you, you never know what anybody's dealing with. And especially us as Black men, it's difficult. It's difficult because I know the balance we all are having to juggle as far as keeping the image of, I would say, being all right, being this, you know, this strong, upholding this strong bravado of masculinity, but underneath it is this very fine, fragile line of just wanting to just be completely free of any of the responsibility of what it takes to just show up every day. I get that because, you know, the idea, and this is going to be controversial, but the idea of masculinity is really being attacked right now because there's no room for it to be raw the way it is. You know, there's this level of where it's like, this is toxic and then this is acceptable. But who puts that, who polices that, you know? And and I understand as a society right now, we're in a very fragile place as well, because there's a lot of things that have to be corrected from years of just, just wild and crazy inequities. But with that being said, in a place where you're already juggling your existence as a Black man to be just yourself, like somebody else placing another standard of things that you have to tell, don't do this, don't do that. I don't want to say we're necessarily walking on eggshells, but our life is already an eggshell. We're in a place where we're going out of the post George Floyd era, which is still current to this day. Right. No matter what anybody says, we didn't really escape that. We moved past that, but it's still very much prevalent. And in this place of where being Black is attacked, being a Black man, it's likewise to being a Black woman, where it's very tense, and the times are very tense right now. And I understand where we need to find a place where we as Black men can unpack, and we need to be able to do that openly and safely with people without that being judged and scrutinized in a way where whatever we're going through is something that it's seemingly uncommon for any human to go through. We go through the same things that everyone else goes through. And we need to have a safe place to be able to unpack that and give that precedence, because it's too many young Black men right now taking their lives. And I've witnessed a couple of friends of mine, one was Black, one was not, take their own lives in a week's time in the pandemic. And it's devastating news. But I also feel like what's more devastating is existing right now with that same spirit of not being okay among everyone else, and everyone else thinking that you're okay, and you're going and you're pretending. I think that's a very dangerous place to be. And I think we all need to have moments where we have outlets. And for myself, I try to make sure, even when I'm talking with my brother, my little cousins, that I just give them a place where I'm touching base and I'm checking in and I'm seeing how they're doing. And I'm also reinforcing and reaffirming the love and letting people know that you're worthy and you're supposed to be here and you're valued, because those small pieces of conversation in those moments, they mean a lot. They mean a lot to people who you don't think it does. And you need to make sure you do that more, because just assuming that everyone's okay, you can't take that approach anymore. We're beyond that place. We need to make sure that everyone's okay and do it genuinely with love. If you're not going and doing anything with love, ask yourself why.
So true. So true. Well, Mr. Mimms, I thank you so much for this interview. I appreciate you so much. And I look forward to seeing so much more from you, my brother.
And I appreciate you, man. This is a great opportunity, a great platform. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for allowing me to come in and speak.